As I think of my first days walking into the new job, I was young, but thank goodness I had people there who could help me and teach me and guide me. Let's talk about it. I'm Adrian from Adrian's Avenue, and I bring you tips that are rich, relatable, and relevant that can help you in your everyday leadership skills. Let's jump right into it. Now, the very first tip we're going to talk about is to be clear from the very start. From the very beginning, make sure you are crystal clear on company goals, guidelines, dress code, what time to be at work, things that you may think and take for granted they don't know. So make sure you, as their leader, sit down with that younger generation and make sure they're crystal clear on what you expect of them. This is a new job to them. This is a new culture to them. They may not know anything about the job or the company or a lot about the job or the company, but it is your job as their leader to go ahead and explain things to them on a level that they can fully understand. They may ask questions, go ahead and address the questions, but make sure you are clear from day one of the expectations and their job and what they're supposed to do. Now, in being clear, you may have to teach business standards. Don't take anything as being obvious or logical to them. Make sure you explain things to them and the cost of their actions. Behavior is one thing that you will probably have to go over with them as a business standard. We expect for people to act this certain way within the company. When dealing with our customers, when dealing with each other, this is what our expectation is. And so don't take it as they just automatically know that this is the way it is. Sit down, take the time to explain to them, and they will appreciate that, and you will appreciate explaining it to them. That way, once they're told, then the expectation is on them. The second tip that I can give you is to cultivate a positive atmosphere for them. They're coming into a new job. They don't know anybody there or really what to expect. So you, as their leader, can try to cultivate this very positive atmosphere for them. Ask them for feedback. Ask them for their opinions. If there's any flexibility within the company's goals and guidelines for things that they may want to do, go ahead and give that to them. Have a welcoming atmosphere. Be approachable to them. Make sure that they can come into your office or come to you with things that they have, questions that they may have. But create this atmosphere that you want them there because you do. It's good to have new blood come into a company, different ideas come into a company, because that can help the company grow with the ideas from everyone, the younger generation as well as the older generation. So cultivate that atmosphere that is positive. The third tip that I can give you is to be a mentor to the newer generation. You've been through experiences, you have the experience, you are the experienced person. So you know things, you've sat in meetings, you've gained the knowledge and information that can help them along the way move through the company more swiftly and more smoothly even than you have. And there are things that you've done in your career that you probably would have not done, or some things you've done that were correct, that helped you move a little swifter. These things that you can help them with, this newer generation, as they come in, because you want them to succeed with the company. Listen to them, see what they have to say, and help them, be a sounding board for them. Give them feedback. When they do things that are good, let them know. When they do things that need improvement, let them know that. But give them feedback and just be there to be a mentor, be a help to them, and just help them along the way in the company. In being this mentor to them, consider this as investing your knowledge in them. Some will take it and use it, some may not. But this is your job as a leader to make an investment in everybody on the team, but especially the younger generation that's coming in, because they need that investment. And for the ones that are smart, they'll take advantage of it. Now, I want you to do the youthful thing and hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you won't miss the new content as it becomes available to you. The fourth thing, and probably the more difficult thing for us to do as leaders of the newer generation, the younger generation, is to understand them. We need to take the time to truly understand where they're coming from. More than likely, friends and home life is probably a little more important to them than the work and the job life. But if we can do anything that connect the two together, that would be in their benefit, that would be great. But we need to understand where they're coming from. Remember when you were younger, you had different ideas and you felt that the older generation didn't understand you. Well, it's the same thing with the younger generation. Let us try to understand them as much as we possibly can. We may not agree with everything that they say or they do or their way of thinking, but at least we can understand where they're coming from, and hopefully they can understand where we are coming from, and the two bridges can meet. But that's sometimes difficult for leaders to understand, that newer, younger generation. It's not all bad, it's not all good, but understanding, and you don't have to agree with it, but understanding them is key, and work with that understanding that you have and just create a mutual ground for both of you all. Well, that's it. But just remember, this younger generation, they think differently. They're in a different stage in life, and they're in a different stage in their career. And if we keep this in mind, we can work with them. We can probably think back to when we were newer and we were at that different stage. They have a whole different way of looking at the world and looking at things. Their priorities are different than ours. But just know that the stage you are in your career and in your life is very different from theirs. And so connecting the two will help you better understand kind of where they're coming from. And so let's help the younger generation as much as we possibly can succeed. Just remember, you want to be clear. You want to cultivate a positive atmosphere. You want to be a mentor to them, and you truly want to try to understand as much as you possibly can about them. These are 4 ways, 4 tips of connecting with that younger generation.